Welcome to SCP-shorten. This is the first time, and basically, I talk about SCPs in under or a minute or two. Okay, the first SCP is SCP-3000. SCP-3000 is a giant moray eel, roughly 900 to 600 kilometers in size, although it cannot be determined. The SCP is strictly carnivorous and slow. This SCP barely moves, but will move extremely fast just to eat prey. SCP-3000 has the risk of having level 8 cognitohazard effects, which causes anyone to look at or enter or indeterminate amounts of range to have paranormal, fear, memory loss, memory alteration, and multiple other things that happen to them. When this SCP eats, it secretes a black mucus is known as Y909. This substance helps to make something called Amnesiacs, which are compounds the Foundation uses to wipe memories when people see anomalies. This is why SCP-3000 is a thumbnail class, a SCP that's technically a benefit to the Foundation or helps contain other SCPs. SCP-173 the Sculpture. This SCP was the original SCP, and snaps the necks of its victims or strangles them. As you can tell, it's extremely hostile from what I just said. The SCP cannot move in a direct line of sight, but it can also move extremely fast. It's made out of concrete rebar, which traces a pre-line brand spray paint on its body. SCP-096. This entity is a humanoid with pale skin and arms grossly out of proportion. Its mouth can open up 4 times farther than the average human. SCP-096 will kill anything that directly looks at its face in any form, including video feeds, pictures, and direct sight. But it has to be the face. Although if this is drawn, it will not have effect on him. This SCP is extremely fast and extremely talented, as it's once killed someone at the bottom of the ocean. But no matter where you hide, after you looked at its face, it's a death sentence, because 100% victims that looked at its face have died. This is because it somehow knows when you look at it. SCP-682. 2. Although those two were Euclid classes, this SCP is a Keter. That's right. Both 173 and 096 were Euclid classes. Just forgot to say. But 682 is Keter. SCP-682 is a reptile-like being and smart. Although this doesn't mean you can reason with it. Because this SCP hates all life and wishes to end it. But here's the thing. Whenever it eats something, it grows. Even if it's not organic. Whenever it sheds material, it shrinks. It can adapt to literally anything thrown at it. And has crazy regenerative properties. Which is very obvious since this SCP has survived the battle with 096 and SCP-173. This SCP can talk, and since it's smart, hates all life, wishes to end it, and extremely adaptive, it's been told to kill it. Although right now, there's no possible way to kill the entity itself. That's it. That's all good. That's all for SCP-shortened. Goodbye.